Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Dharyll from Batangas State University, and for today's video, we're going to tackle about the chapter 9, which titled Transport Layer. So we are also going to answer the activities that here in the chapter 9. So that data networks and the internet support the human network by supplying reliable communication between people. On a single device, people can use multiple applications and services such as email, the web, and instant messaging to send messages or retrieve information. Data from each of these applications is packaged, transported, and delivered to the appropriate application on the destination devices. So that's a little bit information about the transport layer, the data networks, and how the application and services. So let's proceed in answering the activities. So here in our first activity, uh, which entitled TCP and UDP characteristics. So the instruction here is drag each characteristic to its TCP or UDP delivery method. So first, I'm going to discuss to you what is the difference between these two delivery method. First is the TCP. So TCP is a uh, more reliable than UDP in reason because it's established connection before it transferred a data or information to a receiver to the one that will receive to the one that will deliver the information or the data. While the UDP will not establish any connection, it will just send data and information without guaranteed that it will send to the receiver. So basically, the TCP is more reliable than the UDP. So with that information, we will be able to answer these characteristics to which they belong to each delivery method. So here, first we're going to identify connectionless, so it will fall under UDP. So next is less overhead. Less overhead should be also UDP, and fast transmission requirement should be here in UDP. So sequence and message segments should be here in TCP, and no acknowledgement of receipt, which this should fall in the UDP. No ordered delivery, this should also fall in UDP. So the remaining characteristics should fall to TCP, which the TCP guaranteed the delivery, flow control, order delivery, and session establishment. So let's check if we arrive to the correct answer. So that's it. We're done in answering the first activity. So this I will repeat again. So TCP and UDP, and the TCP is more reliable because it establishes a connection first. It ensures that there's a connection between a sender and a receiver. But the cons of UDP is, yes, it will send data or information, but it will not guarantee to establish a connection. So there's no guarantee that you will get the receiver will get the information needed or the information. So next, let's proceed to the second activity. So in the second activity, there are two parts. So here is the part 1 and this is the part 2. So of course, we're going to answer first the part 1. So here is entitled TCP connection and termination process. So the instructions here is drag each descriptor to its appropriate place in the image to illustrate the three-way handshake of a TCP establishment session. So this is the three-way handshake of TCP establishment session. So let's start answering this activity. So here is the PCA and then PCB. So that DCP first will establish the session. So here's our session now. And first, the PCA will send SYN or SYN or sign or whatever it calls. So it will send SYN to PCB. So obviously, the PCB will receive the SYN sent by the PCA. Next, the PCB will send SYN and ACK to PCA. And of course, the PCA will receive the SYN and ACK. Then the next will be the PCA will send ACK to PCB, and will obviously the PCB will receive the ACK. So this is the three-way handshake of TCP establishment session. So let's go check if we arrive in the correct answer. So that's it for the part 1 of this activity. So in the next part, on the part 2 of the second activity, now it is a four-step process of TCP termination session. So the instructions, drag each descriptor or its appropriate to its appropriate place in the image to illustrate the four process of a TCP termination session. So first, this is the first step process of the TCP termination session. So the PCA will send FIN or the FIN. Then the PCB will receive the FIN sent by the PCA. Then the PCB will send a ACK, and then the PCA will receive ACK. The next is PCA will no rather PCB will send again the FIN, and then the PCA will receive FIN. Next is it's the PCA will send to PCB a ACK, and then the PCB will receive the ACK sent by PCA. So that's I think the process of the TCP termination session. So let's go check if our answer is right. So that's it. So that is the first step process of TCP termination session. So here is the three-way handshake of the TCP establishment session. So the PCA will send SYN and it will receive by PCB. The PCB will send SYN and ACK, and will also receive by the PCA. And the PCA will send ACK, and the PCB will receive the ACK. So in the first step process of TCP termination session, the PCA will send FIN to PCB, and it will received by the PCB, and then the PCB will send ACK to PCA and will receive the ACK, and then the PCA will receive FIN. No, the rather the PCB will send FIN to PCA, and then the PCA will send ACK to PCB. So that is all about the activity in the second activity in the chapter 9. So let's proceed to the next activity of this chapter. So here, the third activity will titled TCP, UDP, or both. So I will read the instruction in this activity, which drag the application layer protocol to its transport layer delivery method, TCP, UDP, or both. So we are just going to identify or to drag the application layer protocol to its transport layer delivery method. So let's go start and identify which the proper layer method this layer protocol belongs. So first will be HTTP. So HTTP will fall under TCP. Telnet will fall under uh, TCP also, and then FTP. FTP will fall also in the TCP, and then the DCHCP will fall under UDP. Then SMTP will fall under TCP delivery method. Then SNP will fall under both. Then DNS will fall under mm, I think it's both. Then the VoIP will fall under the UDP, and the TF TFTP will fall under the UDP, and the IPTV will fall under UDP. So I think we managed to identify the layer protocol to its proper or dedicated layer delivery method. So if you want to know if our answer is correct, let's go check it. So that's it. We managed to identify correctly which application layer protocol corresponds to its layer delivery method. So that's it for today's video. So I hope you like it, and if you like this video, leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and thank you for watching.